Okay, red light's on, numbers are clicking away. Looks like there's a volume thing going. The view meter is hammering the edge. Okay, yeah, well, I'm live. I'm live. All right, I got to do this. Let's just do this. Okay. Um, Hello everyone. I'm VertArbusto. This is the Schumann Resonance Harmonics channel on YouTube and Facebook. There's a counterpart on Facebook when I get over there. Thank you for being here. If you are new here, welcome. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It keeps me percolating up in the algorithm. And if you have already subscribed, thank you. I appreciate that. And do check to make sure you're still subscribed. And the little bell is set to all notifications so that you even get all the community notifications, like the posts and stuff. Thank you for being here. I appreciate everyone for being here. I got to do. I just want to do this quick because I needed to do this. I haven't done a observations video in a while. I need to share some love, send some love. I miss the comments from people. If I'm not around, they don't comment on my old videos. Most of you don't, you know. Thank you for the few of you that do. Arizona, Raven, I appreciate that. Bradley is commenting. Thank you. Just quick. This is the Schumann as it's been for the last couple days. No, I don't know what's wrong. Okay, simply. However, it may be related to the fact that a lot of the NASA sun watching tools are down. Okay. Lot of I don't want to say it's human fuckery. I'm not calling any of this the conspiracy. They're hiding anything from us because the fact of the matter is the sun has been relatively calm. Okay, a lot of stuff has been relatively calm, so there's not much going on that they are in need of hiding. I just want it from my perspective. This is kind of what um, my guides have told me is that there isn't anything necessarily to hide that from my angle. Now, if you have a hammer, you're going to look around for nails that need banging. Okay, so the technical side of this says that without any other news, without any other proof, without any other data, we can't assume that there's some greater something that needs to be hidden or that is being hidden. Okay, I just wanted to say that just from all of my heart to the people who are quick to get on the ledge and want to, jump, as it were, at crackpot scenarios. So just let me say, I don't have any kind of extraordinary data that supports extraordinary claims. Wages World was talking about the Occam's razor, and on the first hand, yes, he is correct when he says that the simplest explanation is to be preferred among all other explanations. The simplest one is what we look at first, and we would want to, examine. Uh, Alongside with that comes the other side that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Like, for example, when people see the data voids on the Schumann resonances, the first thing that you would commonly see, or that I have commonly seen in the comments, is that the data void equals some timeline jump. Okay. So regardless of whether there's some collective timeline jump or not, the point that I've made is you're not able to detect that on the Schumann resonance antennas, right? If you're saying it's some shift, what I would maintain is that there's a timeline shift happening every second. Every second a decision is made is another timeline. However, it's individual, it's not collective. Just because some major political figure dies, it doesn't matter. It's still open to you in your individual pursuit and in your individual pathway to open or close timelines or any of that. Any of this mystical, magical stuff can happen or maybe it doesn't happen depending upon the perspective of the observer. So you make your own magic happen. Essentially, that's what my guides told me. What they've told me is that you need to open yourself up to miracles happening. However, there is still a factor of the technical side of how this works and nailing things down in the densities, which is extremely important to remember moving forward, that having correct, proper knowledge, in a sense, grounds a person. That's what this does. That's what this is. That's why this is important for me, to give people the proper technical explanation and the proper technical protocol and explanation from my experience, so that you don't the people don't get freaked out over a technical glitch or something that might otherwise be explained easier or first in the list of potential causes of the, like this here spike, bing, it's an amplitude spike. Okay, the sun's been going off, all right, stuff like this. We see things like this. I will again remind you that when we're looking at, we get with me here, with this here, you get the four of these panels together because they are a set. That you can't just look at the spectrograph by itself and then say that a whole lot is happening based on that without looking at as well the dependencies of the amplitude, the quality, and the frequency. Okay. So, because the Schumann factory, I guess, I'm not even sure what the better phrase for it is, but the original source of the Schumann from Tomsk that we're looking at, our common educational model. That's how I explain Tomsk, is it's a common educational model. Let's just understand that. And when you're looking at Tomsk, it's part of a public university, and Tomsk in Russia provides a signal. They do a good job, but you don't know the data path that it takes to get from their server over in Russia to Italy to Disclosure News, so they can bang it up for us to see it, and then even from there, where you're accessing it from. I'm in the East Coast of the United States, so who knows how many times it pinged around the world to get to me. Okay, so so not only are the NASA tools down, but the internet itself has been slower. I've noticed it's slower. Everything on my things, it's taking slower. You have to remember that solar influences more. This is more electromagnetics in the atmosphere. The lightning is the primary cause of Schumann resonances. The sun's primary function of what it does is tightens up the ionosphere. Okay? The main D layer of the ionosphere, it's measured in nano. You have to remember that. The strength of the upper layer of the atmosphere, this is nano. The Earth and the upper AC and the lower DC, the Earth ground itself, the planet itself, that the electric current within the planet itself is in the nanotesla. The ionosphere, that's in the nano the nano electron volts, 200,000 in the nanoscale. So you have to remember that the amplitude burst into the atmosphere is atmospheric electromagnetics. Okay, and I'm going to be shifting my focus from just Schumann resonances to atmospheric electromagnetics, so that I can explain, I think, some of this a little bit better from terms of the overall electromagnetics, and not just in terms of Schumann resonances, because people get there's a lot of complication between electromagnetics, atmospheric electromagnetics, and the Schumann resonance, range. So as a public service, I'm wanting to do this. All right. So just real quick, my observations here. I'm at the 10 minute mark. All right. So the observations, like this is 43. These are not very big numbers. Even though you have to remember, these are scaled to fit the size. These numbers are scaled to fit the meter itself. All right. So this number here is not 43 hertz. This is decibels in pico-electrovolts. All right. It's not a frequency. So this right here, even though it reaches 40 mark of the frequency, it's not an actual frequency number because it's decibels amplitude. So you have to remember that when you're looking at this, spikes of amplitude are not measured in hertz. This is a decibel of pico-electrovolts. All right. So the white is, I've explained this before, I'll explain again. The white is the strongest of the signal, okay? That's why this is a whiteout type looking deal, but it is because there's white, and then it's backed behind it by the yellow. See, the yellow was 23, it peaked up to 23, all right? And then behind it is red, and then eventually is green. There's not much green, look at that, there's not much green there. All right, so that's why you have this strong white presence, because it's white and yellow together, which gives you half of the picture in there. Half of the image is white and yellow. And white and yellow is pale white, and it might as well be white. It is white, for all intents and purposes. And white as you're going to get. And so this is, again, pico-electrovolts, 11, and this right here, this 11.1, which is interesting. This peak 11.1, 11.11, with the red with the mode 3. The rest of it down here, this is the peak at 11, but this right here is 7.42. All right, it's starting at 2, goes up to 11. 2 and 11 is 13, so half of that is 6.5. So that's roughly, again, our mean mode and the median. That's roughly halfway. That's, not that strong of a signal relative to the strength of this 43, and then the strength of this, well, I guess that's, what is it? 10.4. So it's about roughly half, not exactly half, but roughly half enough. So you see that's a fairly strong signal. The white, it just boom. These are those heavy amplitude days. Well, you have to remember, the lightning is a primary cause of the Schumann resonance. As they strike. There's always lightning going on somewhere. Sometimes it's more often, depending on what's going on. But the main thing that happens with the ionosphere is that it filters out and filters like a membrane, right? A lot of what we get, it gets caught in the D layer of the atmosphere, and then it illuminates, all right? So it doesn't necessarily come through to us, it activates the layer. Then that activation, that ionization in the atmosphere is what we perceive as light. Okay, so but there's an amount of the intermagnetic field plasma, material, intergalactic material that's coming to us through the intermagnetic planetary field, and it gets caught up in the D layers and then kind of dispersed, and that, like I said, activates, and that's what creates light. So even though you look up in the sky and you see a ball, boom, there's a greater amount that misses us, actually, that goes around us, than actually hits us. And so we are always getting bombarded by that radiance. And on those push days of CMEs and the bursts and whatever, it acts like an accordion, if you will, and kind of squishes down and forces the upper atmosphere, the volts, down to us. Okay? So we're looking at the conditions closest to Tomsk that is what's causing these signals, okay, with the regular lightning. And Asia is a lightning chimney. A lot of the around the equator is lightning chimneys of the planet. And these so-called lightning chimneys are the ones that create a lot of lightning. So let me actually, this is probably a good place to pause. Let me get a drink. I said it was going to be quick, and I'm rambling on. All right, so I'm definitely going to keep this under 20 minutes. All right, so the lightning chimneys are always producing electromagnetic. They're always generating Schumann resonances. Normally, there's this normal condition going on, but then when the sun kind of blasts to us, it strengthens the ionosphere, tightens everything up like a drum, and the Schumann resonances get more intense. The frequency doesn't rise. They get more vibrant. They get more alive, more lively. So it's like a note of a piano, right? If you hit in like the old style piano, if you hit the key harder, it creates a louder note, but the note itself doesn't rise. And so that's the thing about the 7.8 harmonic, the bass harmonic, is it's not rising. This right here is not rising Schumann resonances. This is not the resonance itself. This is lightning. You have to remember that this is a lightning that's dinging this and this and this. Now there are other causes, but the primary without the ionosphere active, there wouldn't be Schumann resonances, right? At night, you see this dip here when it's at the middle of the night, okay? 12 midnight, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's what this is, okay? Now, there's always some ionosphere going on there. There's always some ionosphere going on there. So, right, even at its lamest, you still see echoes of the resonances, right? It's not completely gone. So you have to remember that. That's 7.8, that's 14.1, that's 20.7, and that's 27.1, whatever. So even though the ionosphere goes to sleep, you still have resonances. Okay, so as the sun wakes up, as the sun wakes up the ionosphere, they start getting more intense and more loud. Okay, but the resonance themselves, it's like look at this, it's like a fucking arrow straight. That 7.8, oh my God, can I draw a straight line? That 7.8 is not rising. It gets thicker, but then you have, if all you think of the Schumann resonance is just the 7.8 frequency, that's not rising. Okay, first and foremost. The line may get fatter, the horizontal band may get fatter, but that particular resonance is not rising. Okay. Now you see the addition, these activation of higher resonances, okay, those come from the activation of the upper layers of the atmosphere. And so what this here is reporting is almost the condition of the ionosphere as much as it is the resonances happening within the Earth sphere itself, the waveguide, from the ionosphere to the Earth guide, right? So this is what I'm looking at when I see this, is that this is the strength or the tightness or the tautness of the ionosphere, how that is doing relative to, the upper boundary, the constraint, relative to the Schumann resonances themselves, as what's happening down here. Okay? With the roof of the house matters. The ceiling of the waveguide is extremely important because that's what's giving you, there's layers to the upper layers to the atmosphere. So when the sun is hitting, there are multiple layers of the atmosphere, and that's what we're seeing here. Okay. So, all right. So I'm a little over 20 minutes. This is a good place to start. This was only supposed to be a little small update just to say hi to everyone and give the love. On that cheery note, thank you all for being here. Much love. I appreciate everyone for being here, and thank you very much. Namaste.